what's going on with Legacy? Legacy is a goddamn mess. From what I can tell, it is a mess. So, Marvel promised that Marvel Legacy was going to, quote-unquote, break the internet, according to Tom Brevoort, and change the entire comic book industry. Do you know what Marvel Legacy actually is? It's renumbering and lenticular covers. That's it. From what I can tell, that's it. That's all they're doing. There might be some story points. I mean, there might be. I think there's going to be some creative team changes. And boy, oh boy, you got to really hope with me that the rumors I've been hearing about writer changes. Wow. If what I've heard is true, and I'm not going to say it yet because I don't put a lot of stock in rumor. But if what I've heard is true, boy, we are in for a treat. It's like Marvel is intentionally trying to piss everybody off. Intentionally. Again, the tongue-in-cheek nature of my video where I said hatred sells books. We have to make them hate us more. Ultimate hatred by the end of summer. I was kind of over-speaking and kidding, but the writer choices for some of these titles, I've heard through a kind of confirmed source that Mark Waid might be taking over Captain America. Whew. And I like Mark Waid. I think Mark Waid is a really good writer. He is very cynical, and he's one of those guys that I'm not sure if he understands the good guy or the bad guy. He's kind of a moral relativist when it comes to his outlook on things, which worked really well for Irredeemable and Incorruptible, which he did for Boom Comics. And I never read through all of that, but what I did read I really enjoyed, where the Superman-type character turns evil. It's really, to me, I've always thought that book series was the genesis of Injustice. There might be a lawsuit waiting to happen in that. But digressing, and the bad guy, of course, he's the guy that can't be broken. He's a character that's like that. Kind of a Luke Cage character. But he's not always like that. It's like he wakes up in the morning and he, gets to that Luke Cage hardness. By the time after an hour he wakes up. Anyhow, is that going to work for Captain America? Maybe. I mean, with what they're doing to him now, maybe. I mean, they might be, is it going to turn out that he's a fake Cap? Yes. I mean, I'm putting my money on the table. He's a fake Cap. I think I've said that before. He'll be an alternate Cap, an alternate timeline, alternate universe, whatever. And but so either you'll have him go, he'll choose to do right, and then he'll have to wrestle with self-loathing while he goes through the motions of what have I done, or you'll have the actual Captain America take the mantle back, and he'll have to wrestle with all of the hatred that he gets because of what his doppelganger did. Blah 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 blah. Maybe Mark Waid's a good pick for that. I mean, I'm not reading it. I'm not reading Nazi Cap. I'm not reading anything. I'm not touching it. I just won't do it. Like Diversity in Comics said, Secret Empire is a whoopee cushion. Not the wording I would have used, but it fits. Marvel Legacy, for starters, it's renumbering. It's new covers, maybe new creative teams. It's a relaunch. At the end of the day, Marvel Legacy is a relaunch. Another one. And it's a relaunch that apparently does dilly squat. The only good thing about Legacy, and actually, before I get to the good thing, let's get to some of the bad things. Number one, if you go to bleedingcool.com, look up the Marvel Legacy numbering, because they have screwed up so much on their numbering, and these guys gleefully point it all out to you. There's way too much to go over. It's a lot. And the funny thing is, Guys, Marvel Legacy is coming out. I mean, these plans had to be in the works, and this is right around the time that Nick Spencer went on this tweet rant talking about how relaunches are a good thing. And he had to have known that the Legacy numbers were coming back, and this is what basically Marvel Legacy was, and he was still doing this defense. And to me, I really believe that Marvel doesn't mean this. You all know they don't. But the fact that Nick Spencer was out preaching on Twitter that relaunches are good and they save books and yada, 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 they basically falsely inflate the numbers because retailers buy them because they're number ones. It's a mess. It's just an outright mess, and they're going to repeat it because they clearly believe in doing this tactic, and it's a gimmick. I mean, when it's all said and done, it's probably the lamest gimmick they've ever done with the most false hype they've ever applied. Breaking the internet and changing the entire industry, renumbering with different covers. If you look at the title cards for each of these, they've done cards to show you how they got to like Luke Cage number 166. All right, that's what they're at. I'm looking. This is like an example. And I'm going to go through this one thing. Okay. In 1972, issues 1 through 16, Hero for Hire. 17 through 66, Power Man. 67 through 125, Power Man and Iron Fist. 126 through 145, Cage, number 1 through 20. 146 through 160 is Power Man and Iron Fist, 1 through 15. And then 161 through 165 is Luke Cage, 1 through 5. And these are all coming out in different years, obviously. And then Bleeding Cool is pointing out, this is for example, well, as long as you ignore that Power Man actually changed to Power Man and Iron Fist with issue 50, not 67, but the numbering works out the same either way. And of course, you have to try not to think too hard about Avengers, which included an Avengers finale issue after 503, not counted on the list, and the fact that New Avengers Volume 1 is counted, but subsequent volumes of New Avengers are not counted, and neither is the New Avengers finale issue, and none of the point ones issues from Avengers 4, Volume 4 or 5 are counted either, though none of the series so far have counted 0 issues, -1 issues, or annuals. But other than that, things are starting to shape up nicely. It boggles the brain. I don't think Marvel knows what they're doing. This is part of the reason I'm so worried about Marvel. Everything just seems to be in complete disarray. Anyway, there's practically problems with every title like this. The good part I like about this is they are trimming back the number of books that they put out every month. I think that's a really good thing. They have been absolutely flooding the market lately, and it's just been a mess. I mean, from what I hear, when you flood the market with books, it's a real good way for good titles to get buried, because no one knows what to focus on. There's so much that when there's less to pick from, you actually have more options. You have more that you can look through reasonably. I hope that makes sense. Because when you're just staring at, 100 titles, you don't know what to pick. You're just like, there's 100 titles. So they're Marvel's New 52, which they changed to 53. I can't do it. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't go into this anymore. So the covers are cheesy. I mean, they're homage covers. Oh, and have you heard about the T-shirt covers? This is the biggest head scratcher. Marvel Legacy announces 1960 T-shirt variant covers. To quote Tim Allen again, I'm just going to go, what is this? So they kind of look like T-shirts, but they're not T-shirts. They're kind of retro covers that are actually from T-shirts, but they're not. The T-shirts weren't made back then, so they're kind of like recent retro. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking with this at all. I mean, maybe it'll look cool, but it's just kind of like, what are they doing? I don't know. Anyway, the point is, guys, Marvel Legacy is a big joke. I'm sorry to say Marvel Legacy is a big joke, and Marvel has now confirmed that they are not changing anything. They are going full steam ahead, just like the Titanic. They are aiming for an iceberg. And I hope Again, no criticism to anybody who likes these books. More power to you. Oh man, I just think it's bad. And I think in my next video I'm going to talk about, is Marvel doing this on purpose? I mean, as far as the purposeful sinking of the ship. Tell me, guys, what you think in the comment section down below. Have you learned anything more about Marvel Legacy of Generations? What do you think about all this revelation? Sound off. And like I said, if you're new here, please like, share, and subscribe. The LSS Maneuver. And I will gleefully see you guys in the next one when I'm talking. Oh, Marvel, man. The front of my head hurts right now. It's amazing.